Good morning, senior fives and senior sixes. I'm Mr. Chelimo. We are going to look at a general paper today. I thank you because you are safe, you are keeping yourself safe. I want you to maintain the same spirit. Today we are going to look at general paper, and as I've been telling you, this is a subsidiary subject. It contains two sections, that's section A and B. Section A, you will find that they have set 4 questions. Section B comprises of 2 questions. You know that very well. Section A has got what we call essay questions, where you are asked to write between 600 to 800 words. That is section A. Section B, I told you, comprises of 1, the logic question, and 2, the comprehension question. And remember, each section is marked out of 50. 50 marks, 50 marks. All questions carry the same marks. Now, today we are going to look at basically section A. We shall look at section B in the near future. When I talk of the future, you know, tomorrow or in the afternoon or any other day. Section A. You are confronted with the 4 questions. You are supposed to choose one of those questions you think and feel that you can really, you have rich information about it and you can exhaust it very well, such that at the end of the day, you earn the 50 marks. So we shall be looking at one question here, an example of such a question. The question is, discuss the causes and effects of domestic violence in your community today. Discuss the causes and effects of domestic violence in your community today. Or another question can be posed: discuss the causes and solutions to the above causes of domestic violence in your community today. So the either way can be right. So the most important thing is that, remember that last time we were looking at the language of the examiner. We looked at some of these aspects. We looked at some of these words or expressions that the examiners use when they're asking these questions. Discuss, explain, mention, illustrate, and so on and so forth. You know them. We discussed them very well, exhaustively. And we wrote brief notes about each one of them. You know them very well. Now this one is asking you to discuss. And you know very well what to discuss means. But before you discuss the causes of domestic violence, first of all, you know that in section A, we are supposed to look at 4 aspects when we are awarding the marks. We look at, number 1, the definition of the key concepts. 2, we shall be awarding, and that one takes 5 marks. 2, we shall be looking at the content, which carries 30 marks. And 3, we shall be looking at the spelling, the grammatical structures, and so on and so forth. Those ones will give you 5 marks. And lastly, we have what we call general impression, where you are supposed to be given the 10 marks. So make sure you do not miss out on the 10 marks, as I've always told you. 5 marks for the definition, 30 marks for the content, and 5 marks for spellings, grammatical structures, the sentence structures, and so on and so forth. And then the general impression carries 10 marks. So when you sum it all, you'll come to the 50 marks. Now, when you look at our question here, discuss the causes and effects of domestic violence in your community today. We shall identify, first of all, we need to identify the key concept or the key words in this or from this question here. Domestic violence. Now, can we define what domestic violence is? And what is a community? See? Look at the two. Domestic violence. What is domestic violence? And later on, look at the community. Can you give examples of domestic violence? Like, for example, you know very well that we can define domestic violence differently. I can say domestic violence is a situation where one of the members of the family inflicts pain on to the rest of the members of that particular family. Another person will say domestic violence is the abuse, the mistreatment of family members by one of the members. And remember, afflicting pain. Pain comes in from all directions. You can be abusive, you can use abusive language, you can keep on caning as a parent, you can deny people food, you can deny people education, you can, all of those put together are what we call domestic violence. Now, having defined what domestic violence is, and you have given examples of domestic violence, go ahead and give examples of such occurrences. And they're there in our communities. It is not something very strange. These things happen in our communities. Now, we are going to look at the content. Make sure that you have the 5 marks. I told you the definition can vary from one individual to another. We shall not have one kind of definition. We shall be looking at now the content. Here the content is now the message that is needed. And the message, we have 2 aspects here. We have 1, the causes of domestic violence, and 2, the effects of domestic violence. We are first of all going to deal with the causes of domestic violence. What are these causes of domestic violence? What has led, what is causing, what is prompting other members of the family to harass others, to mistreat others? There are many factors that we can look at that has led to domestic violence. And among them, we can talk of, like for example, we can talk of one, first of all, wrap up this. We can say that among the causes of domestic violence, include, you can remember you are supposed to use paragraphs. And we agreed on the length of the paragraphs that one need to really write in order to get the 3 marks. Remember, I told you that the content here, you are supposed to make sure that you earn 3 marks for every point that you write. And how do you get the 3 marks for each point? Number 1, we say, can you identify the point? And you not just say poverty, full stop. Write a complete sentence. Write a meaningful sentence. Say, poverty is one of the causes of domestic violence in my community. Remember, the question is asking, in your community. And therefore, you are supposed to replace this personal pronoun to another personal pronoun. Instead of your, you will be saying mine, own it. So, poverty is one of the causes of domestic violence in my community. Full stop. You can put a period there. You fast forward. and then think about how you can expound and explain this point. Now, having identified the point like that, you have written it in complete sentence, the spellings are fine, you don't doubt them, go ahead and expound on this point here. What is poverty? And how has it led to domestic violence? You know very well that poverty, like if, for example, for the situation that is prevailing now, the coronavirus, COVID-19, the way it has struck the community, the way it has disorganized everybody. There's a lot of domestic violence. There's a lot of domestic violence that is prevailing in our community today. Very many people are beating up their houses, their spouses. Many children are going without food. Many parents have decided to go in for forced fasting, even though they have not been fasting. You see, very many people are going without food. Why? Because of poverty. People are being beaten left and right. Children are denied their rights. Children are denied food. Children are not given, some people have witnessed on TV, some who have not been given medication simply because there is no money. If there is no money now to buy food, to buy some of the essential commodities that are needed in our families, how can somebody spend money on medication? So, because of that, one can easily punish, one can easily use abusive language, one can easily batter, one can easily beat the wife or the husband simply because of poverty. So here you can see that you are supposed to talk about poverty at length. Go ahead and cite examples. We want local examples. Do not, okay, if you have other foreign examples, there's no problem. The most important thing is that you need to have an example or examples. That is why I said initially that number one, what are you supposed to do? Number one, identify the point and write it in complete sentence. Two, expound on it, dress it up. Because remember, if you leave it just like that, it will look bare. You will not have closed it. You see, you will not have put clothes on it. You need to clothe this point here. And then at the end of the day, back it with the examples. With that, you'll earn your 3 marks. Straight away. 1 mark for identifying the point. The second mark for expounding on the point. And then the third mark will be for your examples, your illustrations. If you have figures, you can go ahead and cite them. You can write them. There's no problem. So at the end of the day, we expect you to write at least between 6 to 7 lines. 6 to 7 lines. That one is a mature paragraph. Remember, we defined what a paragraph is. I told you what a paragraph comprises of. First of all, I asked, what is a sentence? Because it is from, I asked you people, what is a paragraph? Some people were saying a paragraph is when you begin from the margin and so on and so forth. I told you that is not a paragraph. A paragraph is a group of meaningful sentences. And I went ahead to ask, what is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that communicate sense. You see? So, and it is from sentences that we develop paragraphs. So, a combination of sentences put together, a combination of meaningful sentences put together results into a paragraph, a meaningful paragraph. And therefore, when you are writing your essays, make sure that you develop them using meaningful paragraphs. A combination of sentences that are meaningful will really lead to a good paragraph. That is point one. Point two, we can look at other causes of domestic violence. We've cited, like for example, we are saying one of them is poverty. What is the second one? We can look at other reasons of that cause domestic violence. Like for example, we can say maybe witchcraft in the family. You see, witchcraft practiced by one of the members in the family. Assuming that it is a man and a wife and maybe man is just very okay, he has no problem, and the wife practices witchcraft simply because he wants to own the husband. You know, that's what is happening in most of the communities. Wives, because they feel they are very, very insecure, whenever they see their husbands going out, they feel insecure, and at the end of the day, they want to really put them in the bottle. As it is said, Musajja amteka muchupa, in quote said, that if you want to be secure with your man, you need to put him in a bottle. Arrest him in the bottle. Musajja amteka muchupa, some of you who understand that language. So, most women are doing this. That they go to these medicine men or medicine women, ask for medicine to tame their husbands, and at the end of the day, when the man finds out that really he has been put in a bottle, he has been tamed, the end result will be battering, will be quarrels, will be fights, will be endless wars and quarrels in such a family. Conflicts here and there, conflicts every now and then. So at the end of the day, this is domestic violence. We've seen very many families which have done this. Personally, I witnessed one family where a lady, a wife, very good, beautiful wife, she went to these medicine men, got medicine. The medicine man asked her, sorry, what is it? My husband has failed to really be at home. These days he dodges most of my stuff, including food and what have you, as you know. But at the end of the day, the medicine man gave her medicine. The medicine he gave this man here, this woman here, turned things upside down. She was asked whether she wanted the husband to be at home. The woman said, that is exactly what I want, doctor. So the doctor, the witch doctor, gave this woman medicine, not money, medicine, and she went and gave the husband. The husband died. And when the husband died, because this is what the woman was asking for, the witch doctor asked her, you want to be looking at this man, you want to be seeing this man oftenly, that yes, this is what I want, doctor. And so the man gave him the medicine, the woman went and gave the husband died. And so the woman looks at the graveyard every day. This is what the woman wanted, you see. So such things, such scenarios can lead to domestic violence. If a man finds out that, like for example, when you've been served with food has some particles that you cannot understand, there's some black stuff in the food. At the end of the day, you get annoyed. Ask the woman, what is this? How does it come? These are not part of the beans. This is not part of the sauce. At the end of the day, these people are going to fight. So you need to expound, give a thorough explanation of these points here. Do not really limit yourselves when you're explaining these points here, because at the end of the day, remember that these people here, you are telling or you are writing for these essays here, no, they have seen these things happen, they have experienced them. Some of them have taken part in them, so they know very well what is taking place in these families. So at the end of the day, do the same thing. Write the point in a complete sentence, back it with a thorough explanation. Don't mind, make just your explanation clear, and then at the end of the day, back them with the examples. The third point can be, you can say, besides, early marriages, more especially between people who are physically and emotionally ill-prepared. You see? Assuming a young man, you just got this young girl, maybe in a disco hall, or you are just trying to cohabit, and really you give her one nail, you impregnate her, you see? And the parents are forcing this young girl to go and look for the man who impregnated her. At the end of the day, you will not deny if you are the one who did it. This young girl will come to your home. She will come to your home. And you'll be married without what? Without being prepared. You are ill prepared. You see, you are ill prepared. So at the end of the day, you'll have constant fights. You'll quarrel every now and then. Petty, trivial things will make you shout and quarrel and fight. Because you were not prepared. You were ill prepared. You were forced to do something that you were not ready to do. You see. So at the end of the day, because the marriage was forced, you got married because you were ill prepared. Because it was something that happened without prior preparation. At the end of the day, you'll have fights. You'll have fights, you'll have quarrels, you'll beat each other, you'll fight, you'll bite off each one's ears, nose, and so on and so forth, just simply because you were ill prepared for this kind of marriage. Remember, you are young people, you are not working. You as a young man, you are not working, you depend on the father, on the mother. The young girl depends on the father and the mother. You come together. Now the father at home tells you that, you know what, can you be self-reliant? Look after your family. What are you going to do? At the end of the day, I'm telling you, the result will be fights, quarrels, battering, and so on and so forth. So, that one is also another cause of domestic violence. So you can continue like that. Make sure that, remember, we say that since you are going to be given 30 marks for the content alone, can you divide these points into two? There are two aspects here, the causes and the effects. Look at, for you to be on the safe side, can you write around 7 causes? Write 7 effects. Or 8, there's no problem. But the examiner will be looking at, if I'm the one marking that script, I'll be looking at the first 5 or 6. First 5 or 6. You see? Such that, remember, since we are giving you 30 marks for that particular area, it means, and we say that each one is 3 marks, that is identifying the point, making an explanation, and backing it with an example. There are 3 marks. It means that I'll be looking for only 10 points. Well explained, and I've always told you, can you begin with those points that you have rich information about them? The points that you feel you are well conversant with. They are the ones you need to begin with. Because there's a tendency of most students are married. There wouldn't be examples put or are written as independent points. And at the end of it all, you lose out on the mark. So I expect you to write, at least me as an examiner, I'll be looking at the 10. With the causes, I'll first look at the first 5. Award you marks. Go ahead and look at the effects and look for the first 5 effects of domestic violence. And then at the end of it all, when you multiply 3 times 10, that is how we get that 30 marks for the content. It is not how much you write, because I know some of you will say, I'm going to write around 5 pages or 6 pages. No examiner in this world, me inclusive, I get so much irritated when I read open very many pages when I'm reading an essay for only one student. I've always told you that these people go there to make money, even though they need to have experience, they go to get experience, but money takes them there. So the more skills somebody marks, the more money he parts with. So nobody is ready to read the first page, the second page, the third page, the fourth page, about only is reading somebody's only, an individual's essay. So make sure that you write sense. Write 7 points which have sense. If you have these other minor points, you can marry them, or merge them with these other major points, and then you call it a day. So, candidates, senior 6 candidates, and semi-candidates of senior 5, I want to challenge you. I want you to go ahead. You can find a friend, you can discuss, you can ask the parents. Parents know some of the things here. Discuss with them. What are the causes of domestic violence in our communities today? And what are the effects? Discuss with their parents. These parents here are rich, they have information. They are rich with information about all this. So can you go ahead and then discuss? I'm challenging you to discuss this question here. Such that at the end of the day, when you come back, we shall meet and expound on them. But I want to say that first of all, write the first 5 points must be major points. Let the weaker points, the minor points, come after the 5th one. Maybe the 6th, the 7th, you can write those other minor points. The same applies to the effects. First look for the 5 major effects of domestic violence. You can merge these other ones, marry them, so that at the end of the day, you write a very comprehensive essay that can earn you a mark. With that, I want to thank you very much for listening. I want to thank you for watching. Go ahead and practice that question. Thank you.